This is my first video on Excel. I plan to produce more videos on Excel in coming days in addition to my accounting series. If you find these videos useful, please do subscribe my channel. Thank you. SUMIF function calculates the sum of values in a range based on a true or false condition. The condition is referred to as criteria, which can check things like dates, numbers, and text. So it's a very helpful function in building quick reports in certain conditions. So let us crack on and look at an actual example of how it works. All right, on your screen you can see three tables. The table on the far left shows a master data that we're going to use to extract two reports on the right. This data table contains a set of data showing sales rep name, the region to which the sales was made, and the sales value in dollar terms. Let us now try to build our first report, which is sales by sales rep. What is this report going to show? This report is going to summarize sales made by each sales rep or by each sales staff. And in our example, our first sales rep is Peter. Let us see how SUMIF function going to work for him. On the top menu, click on formulas, then click on insert function, select SUMIF. This dialog box is asking us to make a selection of three parameters or three arguments. Our first argument or parameter is range, the second is criteria, and third is sum range. Now, what is range? I call it a criteria range, and in our example, it is column B from here to here. So what does this criteria range means? This means that we want our function or formula to fulfill one condition or match one criteria, which is sales rep name with the criteria range column and return sum of the sales made by Peter into this cell, which is $16,000. Now you can copy this formula all the way down, but this is not going to work perfectly. The reason being, the ranges that we selected in our function, they are dynamic. They are not fixed. For example, this first range is from B3 to B16, but if you copy it to the next cell, it may change from B4 to B17, which makes it look wrong, which makes it inaccurate. So what is the solution here? The solution is that we lock these ranges by putting a $sign before and after the column name, either manually, or you can use a shortcut key, which is function key plus F4, and it locks this range. Then we have a second range here, which we can lock by pressing function key along with F4, and this locks both the ranges. Now you must have noticed we didn't lock our criteria, which is F4. The reason for this is that this has to be dynamic, because for every row or for every cell, there's a different sales rep or there's a different salesperson. If we lock it, for every cell, it will be looking for Peter, not for the relevant or the concerned staff name or the sales rep name. So since we have locked our ranges, our formula looks perfect. Let us copy it down all the way by dragging this small handle up to here. Now, if you look at the total in our report and the data table, totals match in both the places. So this shows that our report has been worked out or has been calculated accurately and properly. Let us now look at our second example, which is sales by region. So what is the difference between this report and the earlier report? In the earlier report, our criteria was sales by sales rep. So in this example, our criteria is sales by region. So that's the difference between the two reports. We are going to use the same SUMIF function to calculate sales by region. Let us go to the top menu and click on formulas, then click on insert function, then select SUMIF, and this dialog box opens. So we are going to select three arguments: range, criteria, and sum range. So range in this example is the region, which is column C, and our criteria is the region, which is this, and the sum range is column D up to here. And this tells us that our sales for Egypt region is $16,500. Now we cannot copy this formula as it is because these ranges are dynamic, but they have to be locked to work properly. So we will use the same shortcut key, function key plus F4, and then we will repeat the same for our second range to make it lock. Now we are in the position to copy this formula all the way down. If you see at the bottom of these two reports, totals look the same because our function or formula has worked properly and it makes our balances or the totals reconciled with the two sources of information.